G'day everybody, John Seville, Acorn Wealth. This is Executive Summary time. So we have a kind of an expanding consolidation range coming down. We talked about the short-term bullish nature of the S&P last night. We've gone bullish again here on the index tonight. So money flow has crossed above the zero line, so money flow is now in accumulation zone technically. We'll have a look at the Dow Jones World Index. You can see that, however, is actually consolidating negative. So we have kind of divergence in the global markets and the US markets, and we have open range coming in on Friday. So be cautious. I'm not going to be lightening up my positions. I'm just spreading myself over lots of positions with much smaller sizes to kind of look for the alpha in the strategy and try not to expose myself to too much risk in any one stock. I mentioned that last night. I had orders on 6 stocks last night. I think 3 or 4 of them triggered today, but each of them was about a fifth of what I would normally put into a position. Unfortunately, Incredible Charts seems to be down at the moment, so we haven't been able to run the short scan, but we do have a bunch of similar types of longs that we found that all meet the similar criteria of all these big performers recently. The first one is SKUL. This has insider buying of about 50-60 grand and another couple of smaller lots. You can see that this is just kind of rounding, has just broken through its moving average consolidation. Money flow is making higher lows and diverging to the upside. So I'm looking for a long on this from 793 up to 873. So it's about 80 cents of reward. And on the stop loss, looking at 747. So it's roughly about 2 to 1, which is kind of common for these types of trades. But the thing is with these is that they can obviously go a lot further, and that's just the first target. But if it starts to get momentum, we'll start moving that stop loss up, making that risk reward better and better as the stop loss increases. The other one with some insider buying was HGG, and you can see that's kind of got a very similar pattern. Money flow also kind of diverging to the upside. Had some trouble as it struggled with the moving averages today, so I'm looking for it to break the high of these recent candles. So I'm looking for a break above 386 and a target of 478, so about 90 cents of reward there, and I'm looking at a stop criteria at 353. So about 90 cents of reward for 33 cents of risk, so 3 to 1 on that one. Now we've got, then we go to FGEN. Again, one of the recent stocks that had done really, really well, broke through, had a big rally, has pulled back, and so this could be another performer like DSCI. If you have a look at DSCI, this did the same thing. It kind of rallied up, pulled back, and then shot up. So we could see hopefully something similar, and of course, DSCI was one of our recent picks back there in early June. So on FGEN, I'm looking for a buy around 1943 and a target of 21.94. So $2.50 of reward with a stop criteria at 18.23. So a $2.50 reward for $1.20 risk. So roughly 2 to 1 risk reward on that one. Okay. We've now got a very speculative play. Now this is a finance company. It's been under very heavy pressure, as you can see. A huge drop. It's got some insider selling across the board back in May. But a rally through this 50-day moving average could trigger some short squeezing, and could have a small move could be a big move. So again, very speculative. So I wouldn't be using much capital. It has been trading like sometimes in the millions of shares though. So there's a lot of volume going through it. So on this one, I'd be looking at a break of the 50-day moving average. So looking at a buy around 32 cents with a first target of 58 cents. So there's a 26 cent reward. And I'd be looking at a stop loss at 24 cents, which is an 8 cent risk. So that's about roughly 3 to 1 risk reward ratio. Of course, that could go much higher, and again, we'd be protecting that with a stop loss that would rally up behind it. Okay. We've got CCG, again, similar kind of thing. But this one's kind of in a bump and run formation. It may need a little bit of time because the 20-day moving average is still closing in on it. But I've been watching this closely. The Twigs money flow has crossed above zero. I'd like to see what's kind of going on tomorrow. But it does need to overcome this moving average. Could be the case where it rallies up into that kind of 580 zone, then pulls back to around 560. And then goes. The problem with this is the risk-reward ratio, because I'd be looking at a stop-loss at 537 with an entry at 557 with a target of 597. So it's 2 to 1 if it gets all the way up to that resistance, but it's going to struggle most likely with the 580. So the risk-reward's not as good, given that I think that there's some trouble there with the 20-day moving average and that channel overhead. But one for the watch list anyhow. Okay, and then... final one on the long list, VHC. This is again kind of a similar type of squeeze play. Money flow is increasing, and this I'd be looking at from 498 up to 561, so 63 cents of reward. And if I've got the calculation right there, 60, yep. And a stop criteria at 461, so a 37 stop, so roughly 2 to 1 risk reward on that one. In terms of the one short that I have been watching, TRQ is the one I'm looking at here. Very similar to some of the shorts we talked about last night that both have done so really well today. And this one I'd be looking at from 403 down to 375. So we've got 27 cents of reward with a stop criteria at 415. So that gives us a 13 cent to 27 cent risk reward, or roughly again 2 to 1. So that's the stocks on the watch list for tomorrow. Again, I'm just kind of equally positioning smaller lots into a lot of these. We're only paying very small brokerage fees with Interactive Brokers, so it's something where I don't care really how many stocks I'm in, because once we're in, the targets are there and it's just maintenance. So with that, I wish you all very happy trading, and we'll see many of you in Trading Room tomorrow night. If you're not a member of Trading Room, make sure you go to acornwealthcorp.com and contact us for a trial of our full-on services. With that, happy trading and good night.